Hello, everyone. Dr. Constance here with another episode of Munch and Learn with Dr. Constance, where I give you short yet impactful health education sessions perfect to review over your lunch. And I always start with sharing what's on my plate for the day. That's the munch part. And excuse me, during the summer, it's a great opportunity to explore cold food options or options that you don't have to heat up because otherwise you're scorching, you're in a rush, you're moving and grooving, trying to enjoy the warmer weather, and it's easier to grab fast food when you don't have something that's easy to move with you. And so that's why salads are a perfect option. So I'll show you my salad for the day. I love these bowls. They're from Amazon, but certainly you can find options that are more easily reusable. Although, even though these are meant to go for food service, I rewash them and use them multiple times. So when I get a set from Amazon, it lasts for months and months, as long as one doesn't get punctured or anything. But it makes it perfect for meal prep, especially if you have multiple people in your household. And for me, it's me and my fiance that are together. And so this salad has chicken thighs, which you can grill them. Perfect time of the year to do that. But in the interest of time, these were baked. We have some baby bell peppers, banana bell peppers for a little bit of a kick, and some cucumbers as well. Surely it'd be a great idea to also include tomatoes, which are in season. And if you have a home garden, that's perfect as well. And any host of other vegetables and seasonings are great. Dashing a little Italian seasoning is perfect just for the salad itself, so that when you bring it together with your dressing, the flavors marry together. And then for my dressing, I have this Skinny Girl Honey Dijon salad dressing. And usually I have a vinaigrette that I make myself. But again, when you're in a hurry, it's good to know some options that you can grab off the shelf that won't take a lot of time for you, that you have available when maybe you just don't have the energy to make something yourself. The truth of the matter is, diet or so-called skinny products aren't always good on the palate, right? They use alternative ingredients to decrease the calories and the fat, and that does not always sit well with our taste buds. I'm going to be the first to admit that. However, every now and again, I buy products like these just to kind of be a martyr for the cause and really determine, is there something that I can tolerate myself, therefore be able to recommend to someone else who might be starting their healthy living journey and doesn't want to be turned off. And this one right here is the one. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being very minimal, 10 being a bad aftertaste, I would give this a 3 or 4 as far as the sweeteners that they use to give it that honey Dijon flavor, but definitely a winner. If you're trying to get a similar taste actually without having to buy it, literally get some Dijon mustard yourself, a little olive oil. The type of vinegar you use could vary. I would say apple cider vinegar would probably be the best option. And if you aren't super conscious about your carbohydrates, you can actually add a little honey to that. If you are more conscious about that, monk fruit sugar is my preferred non-sugar sweetener. And that was literally off the fly because I love to cook and kind of know how flavors meld together. But if you do that, a little extra seasoning like garlic powder, you will have a delicious honey Dijon-esque dressing. Let's see how I did actually and look at the ingredients on here. Yes, water is number one. Cider vinegar. I told you apple cider vinegar will probably be best. Dijon mustard, right? I'm doing pretty good. Um, they also use turmeric, which is good. That gives it a little bit of a color, which will help the palate as well. And then mustard seed, which is good. You can use some mustard powder, actually. Dried onion, lemon juice, right? Perfect. All the things I just recommended. That makes me a little proud about myself. That I can kind of do that on the fly, but I promise as you all practice, you will learn how to do that yourself if you so desire. And if not, there are great products like this that you could get off the shelf and not have to worry about it at all. And so accompanying my salad today, also have some fresh berries, so just strawberries and blueberries, nothing added to it, just the berries in their natural form. And today I actually have a 1:00 facial, so I don't know, I might be eating my lunch a little bit excuse me, later. But we'll see after I record if I'm in the mood or if I'll just wait a little while longer. And as you've seen, the title of today's episode is Summertime Fine. And let me tell you something, hopefully it was not clickbait, because I will not be talking to you about how to lose weight, get rid of your arm flab, tone up your abs, build a booty, nothing like that. But I am talking about summertime safety so that you can fully enjoy the summer while still staying healthy, avoiding injuries and other uncomfortable situations. Because the truth of the matter is, summer will always be synonymous with fun. It starts when we're younger and we get a summer break from school, and then it carries into college, or those times that we have as a young adult where you're hitting the streets with your friends and going to nightclubs, going to the beach and not having to worry about a coat. My goodness, I hated clubbing in the winter for that very reason. And then it goes into your slightly older young adult age and middle age, in which you're building memories with significant others, cousins, other family members, and new friends, and including your children, right? Creating memories for them as well. So the summertime is often the time that people take their family vacations. And while you're doing that, you definitely don't want to be sick. You definitely don't want to have any other inconveniences with your health that might deter from the fun of summertime. So we got to keep you and myself summertime fine. And we'll go over some tips that maybe some of you think about, maybe you don't, but hopefully I help you today. So one is not forgetting food safety. And I think this is true for all year round, but especially in the summer when we're cooking outside or having functions involving food that might also be outside. And if we don't handle the food properly, people can get sick, right? So that means foods that should be cold need to stay cold, whether that's a dedicated cooler on ice. And I say dedicated cooler because if you have a cooler that people are going in and out of for drinks as well as food items, there's more opportunity for contamination of the food. So if you're having cold foods like tuna salads and pasta salads, even green salads, certainly having a dedicated cooler for that is important. And or Amazon has plenty of products that have trays that you can keep that on ice. Of course, remembering to replenish the ice as it cools off. Or another thing, as long as your mama doesn't tell you to go, that you can't keep going in and out of her air conditioning, like my mama would, you can also put the cold items in the house And once things wind down as far as people eating, then you could tell them, stop going in and out of my house, right? But anyhow, don't forget that. Also, when you're using or cooking things on the grill, making sure that if you're having poultry versus vegetable items, that you're not using the utensils for each of them and cross-contaminating the juices from the poultry or other meat products with the vegetables that are going to be eaten later and might not be brought up to the same temperature as the chicken to avoid those bacteria that could make us sick. And so keep that in mind. And then once you're all done, doing your best to put those things away in the house where they belong. Now, truth be told, we've all eaten a thing or two that was not following strict food safety guidelines. However, you want to avoid going too far in the wrong direction and potentially getting yourself or other people sick. So just keep that in mind. Second is staying hydrated and being mindful of the heat. This year, we're actually having a record high temperatures all across the country. And that could put people at risk for heat exhaustion or heat stroke. And certainly staying hydrated is very important. Water is a phenomenal way to hydrate, even though there are so many other products out on the market. Certainly, if you are doing yard work, trimming hedges, cutting grass, pulling weeds, something strenuous where you're outside for longer periods of time, you might consider things like Gatorade or Powerade or other electrolyte enhanced fluids because you're sweating a lot. That can change the balance of the salts in your body, which can then cause different issues. But in general, for most of us, hydrating with water will be perfectly fine, especially because we get plenty of salts and other salts and other electrolytes, which are combinations or different types of salts. Sodium chloride is what we generally think of as salt as in the general community, but certainly there are other electrolytes to consider. But anyhow, we get that primarily from our food. And so we don't need to seek out these other products. And the reason why I say that is because they do contain salt. If you don't need them, it can change the balance within your body and cause other issues. But also they include sugars. And so if you're not being careful, for those of us who are being conscious of our sugars, we can be getting unwanted things besides just hydrating. Okay. So the next thing is to eat fruits and vegetables that are in season. And it seems simple enough. I gave you the example of my strawberries and blueberries. Technically, here in North Carolina, anyhow, we are out of our strawberry season, right? The temperature is getting higher. And so that scorches the plants. Blueberries too. Blueberries are sort of ending now if you're following the true season. But certainly there are other fruits and vegetables that are plentiful and in season this time of the year, especially on the East Coast. That includes melon, so watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew melon. That also includes corn on the cob, which for some people, depending on when they plant it, could be ending that season as well. Figs are growing on the tree right now, as well as tomatoes, peppers, and cucumbers. So for the home gardeners out there, please share. Oh, actually, squash, so yellow squash and zucchini are doing phenomenally right now. I am squash and zucchini out because so many people have gifted me squash. So it's been meal prepped heavily in my household, and it's oh so delicious and can be prepared in many different ways. But that's a way to keep variety in your eating habits, as well as getting the best quality ingredients, right? So when you're eating in season, you'll know that the quality is there because you're able to pull from your local growers. So these are foods that are able to be picked at their ripest and then given to you very quickly thereafter versus items that are made in or grown in other states and even other countries where they actually pick them before their true ripeness. And then it has to take time to ripen off of the vine instead of on the vine or the tree, whichever makes the most sense. So if you've noticed you've had strawberries that just don't taste that good, no disrespect to anyone, but it's probably because they're from Mexico or some other South American country. And so, and then also potentially grown in a greenhouse, which again, nothing wrong like that. I love having first world problems where I can get whatever kind of fruit or vegetable I want, no matter what time of the year it is. However, the quality is going to be sacrificed when you're not able to get it fresh and local to your area. Next, summertime is great for outdoor activities. I am all about staying active no matter what time of the year is. In the spring, summer, and here in southeastern North Carolina, where I live, even the fall and winter are generally good times for us to be outside. But of course, the types of activities that we do change. This time of the year where I am, stand-up paddleboarding, kayaking, amazing opportunities to get out on the on the water. Of course, also swimming is an amazing activity, and even just walking. But of course, please do be mindful of the heat. I enjoy running and walking for my exercise, but that also means that I'm up before the sun or right with the sun so that I can avoid the heat. So generally for me, I'm out around 5:30, 5:45 when the sun is just peeping over the horizon. Therefore, I don't have to deal so much with the heat injury concerns. And so be mindful of that, but also get outside and do something active. Skin protection. This is very important for all skin types, whether you're melanated or not. Good skin protection is important not only to avoid skin cancer, but as well as maintaining the integrity of your skin. Skin that is constantly beat down the sun is more prone to changes in elasticity or how pliable the skin is, in addition to increasing aging, which is something that, or advancing aging, which is something that many of us think about. So if you're not thinking about good skin protection as a young or younger person, as you get older, it's more likely that you have challenges with precancerous or cancerous skin lesions and other types things like, we call them freckles, but also other age-related skin exposure, color changes on the skin. So please do be mindful of that. Next are summer hazards. We've already made it past the 4th of July, but that is one of the big times that we see fire-related hazards. So maybe fireworks are too close to the house or some other flammable area, too close to people injure themselves, injure others. So please do, that's like one of my worst nightmares because I love fireworks. But when I see people doing fireworks themselves, I just say a little prayer and hope that they know what they're doing and can do their best to avoid injuries from that. Also, as much fun as the water can be, it's also a very unpredictable and dangerous place. So those younger children who might not be as strong swimmers yet, it's important to be mindful of that, acknowledge it, and prepare. So whether that's life vests, utilizing the pool with supervision versus the ocean that, again, is more unpredictable, things like that are helpful, but also not underestimating the ocean or other water situations. Even the strongest swimmer, if they're under the influence of a substance, whether that's alcohol or other substances, that can decrease their ability to get out of a sticky situation should they be in the water. So please do keep that in mind. Drinking responsibly is important, especially when you're in a more hazardous situation like swimming, utilizing fireworks. Also, in a place like where I live, there are more tourists this time of the year. So that means the traffic and people that might be in the area are different. So please be aware of your surroundings, extra traffic that might be coming down the streets that might endanger your children, pets, and other loved ones. So please do be mindful of that. And the last tip that I want to talk about is actually that even though the summer is an amazing time for vacationing and having fun, there should never be a vacation from being healthy. Okay, so if you are due for your scheduled health maintenance items, it doesn't matter that it's June, July, August. Please do take care of those things. And also, the things that we do this summer can negatively impact our health for a lifetime. So continue to work on healthy habits. Try not to pick up new bad habits, especially if you're already battling other habits. Still, of course, give yourself grace. I will be the first to admit that this time of the year is when I loosen up the most with paying attention to my health as far as drinking more alcohol and other non-water-based beverages. So that could be soda and lemonade and sweet tea. That can also be more snack foods, grilling out more. And I love a burnt hot dog. That is a whole nother episode to talk about the potential health risks from grilled foods, but I will not cause any uproar here in the South. But also just making sure that you're going to the doctor, because with that said, my birthday is also in June. And many times people have doctor's appointments, at least a yearly physical, surrounded around their birthday, so that it's a good reminder to go back. So for those of you who are in that boat, either once you get out of the woods of the summer, start a new timeline for your yearly physical, or just make sure that you're keeping track of it no matter what time of the year it is. So this was another quickie, but I hope you all do your best to stay summertime fine. I'll see you next time.